Hey, what's going on YouTube? It's time to take a look at the clear that I planned on doing for Infernal Icon, the Vision World for Final Fantasy 16. And obviously you can see on the screen I do have a rank 1. This one is not particularly difficult to get rank 1 in my opinion, because the damage requirement is like cut in half of what it usually is. I'm not really sure why, but there it is. So you only seem to need to do about 12.4 billion damage, and I don't think this is that hard as a result. The bigger issue is the damage that you might take. So I'm going to show you how I managed to get through this taking 0 damage. Not that stunning, not that surprising, really not that difficult, but we're going to take a look. So as we know, it uses a lot of physical damage and magical damage that is all fire type or non-elemental. So if you've got a source of Mirage on your party, and then like fire resistance buffs, you can pretty much deal with a lot of that fire damage very easily. If you've got a source of Omni cover, you can cover the fixed damage on turns 2 and 5. We're only going to go to turn 4. And if you've got someone like Abigail who can absorb fire, you don't even really have to worry about the Imperil all that much, although I do have her geared really full, like over the top, because I don't really need her for damage. My damage is coming from other units, so there you go. But as long as you can just deal with the physical damage and the magical damage, either with tanks or cover or resistances, you're pretty much okay. The big issue, of course, is that fixed damage that you want to be able to cover with Omni cover, or really high resistances depending on your team. So let's take a look at what we're doing, and we will get into this. So here's the team that I took. Of course, this is the same team that I showed on the video on Tuesday. So we've got Bart, Penelo, Celeste, Fundamental Force, Zahn, and Abigail, and I'll go ahead and show you their gear now. So I'll go ahead and pull that up here. Let's get the words out of the screen out of the way as well. Had things in the wrong order. So here's our team. So we've got Bart. Bart is wearing Ashura, just because Ashura has high attack. And so we've got Bart wearing, in the base form, some fire resistance. He's got a source of preemptive LB boost, his whip, and then just a bunch of fire resistance. All that really does not matter because we got Abigail on our team, and that's the main reason she's here, is to protect us from the damage. Bart is leading our party, and he's got the Squall vision card, or just whatever good vision card you've got for Clash of Wills or light units, or the Xenogears. So there you go. I've got light, so he's wearing light. There's Bart. In the shift form, he's got photon cores for Spirit Killer, his whip, and then he's got Spirit Killer and Beast here, and Spirit Killer here, some Beast Killer here, and then some Fairy Killer here. So that's the big thing with Bart, is just gearing him up for the killers. But he does have 300 Beast, 300 Fairy, LB damage, 400 True Double Hand. He's at EX2, so he has the chain cap increase in his kit, so he's good to go. There's Bart, and he's leading our party. For Penelo, I technically have her geared for some damage, right? So she's got a two-handed rod, she's got LB damage and stuff like that, and she's got Beast Killer and Fairy Killer and LB damage and True Double Hand. So she's geared all the way. Again, leaning really heavily into the killers, especially for Spirit and things like that. She's got Chain Cap up from Celeste's LB, and then she's got this vision card with, again, killers on it. So that makes her build work. She's got 15,000 magic, and she does very little damage. Let's just be real about that. She's here for the break and the Imperil, and she's got the EX2 that she's got her really big Imperil. Celeste is here, again, base form, wearing lots and lots of just fire resistance, all that doesn't really matter that much. She's got Tyva's Spirit, and then the shift form, she's got just her sword and good clash gear, killers. She's got mine's EX3, so she's got her her EX ability, but there's a lot of ones that she can equip at this point, and then just like chain speed and stats and whatever, she's got a Clash of Wills vision card from Richt, and she's good to go. Very good. Fundamental Force, nothing surprising here. So she's got killers and all of our good gear, and yeah, there you have it. She does exactly what she's intended to do. Zahn is here to do two things. He's here to do Bracer on Celeste to make that Tyvus Spirit last the whole fight. And then he's also here to do Spirit Killer for the party. So he's using this vision card for Spirit Killer, which he's then going to spread around the party. So those are the two things he's really here for. Penello's doing all the breaking. Zahn's just here to do a little bit of damage and spread some buffs and make buffs last longer for what's her name? Celeste. Again, I loaded him up with like some fire magic resistance, so you could definitely lose some of that and give him better stats, like for at least for the hat and the cloak and stuff like that. But he does cap his stats really easily. But like always, he's got maxed out killers for Beast and Fairy and LB damage. Also should point out, Fundamental Force is wearing Ifrit for the overcap killer for Beast. So there you go. If you have the overcap killer for Carbuncle, then you could put that on Penello. Penello's wearing it. Abigail is just wearing tons and tons of fire resistance. So I wanted to have enough so where she could, with her stat buff, which is Barfai Raja, which is 200. I wanted her to have enough that she could resist the fire magic no matter what. So she's got 475. Way overkill. You don't need this much. But this is how I've got her geared. And there you go. And she's got her own vision card. And she, like I said, gears really easily for this one. And we're going to be using her Fire Absorb / basically immunity and Barfai Raja. And then she's going to be chaining with Bart to hit the 100 hit chain and just kind of help build up. And there's our team. So you can see our Espers there. We've got Bart with Ashura, Penello with Carbuncle, Celeste with Bahamut, Fundamental Force with Ifrit, Zahn with Odin, just for killers, and mainly Abigail using Phoenix just for the resistances, and there you go. So I'm going to go ahead and get the actions out of the way, and then we will we'll get the actions on the screen, and then we will see this fight, and I'll show you how we did a rank 1. Pretty straightforward, really. This one's not that difficult. So let's get that out of the way. Put the actions on the screen. Cool. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to get all of our buffs and stuff online with Abigail. Alrighty. Abigail is just going to triple, and she's going to do Shelga, Barfai Raja, and Drone Cover. There you have it. Celeste is going to use Tyvus Spirit, and Zahn is going to use the Spirit Killer buff. Okay, so Fundamental Force has nothing to do this turn. She's just going to guard. Penello is going to, she's just going to triple, just to do like a full breakdown. Where is it? Full breakdown. There you go. And then she's going to use Charming Stage, and then doesn't really have anything she needs to do with her third action, so I'm just going to do an Ether Waltz on herself. There you go. And that way we have a field up on our side, or on the enemy side. And then Bart is going to use White Cologne, which is going to give us Mirage stacks, Wild Smile just to decrease the boss's accuracy, and it's something to do. And then Light Mode just to do something with his third action. You don't have to do all that. You could just do Mirage stacks and be totally fine. But, it's classy. Alright, boss is going to do some AoE physical and AoE magic. We are going to Mirage the physical. Abigail's going to cover the magic. And boss also puts up an Imperil field on our side. So we're going to get rid of that this turn with Celeste. So Celeste is going to do coordinated teamwork for stat buffs and LB buffs and all that. Intelligent combat for killer buffs. And then Dazzling Neon to get rid of the field on our side. There it is. So now we're in pretty good shape. We are going to get hit with that 300% Imperil skill on this turn, and Abigail's going to deal with that in just a second. Bart is just going to, again, just do White Cologne. Now we're good. Penello is going to just do Calamitous Step. That's going to put the big breaks and the Imperils on the boss. There we go. We're doing pretty good. Fundamental Force is going to use Guidance of Leo, Nebulous Veil, and Heavenly Hypernova. Zahn is going to use Gilded Bracer on Celeste, because her Tyvus Spirit is still active, and we can see that right here. if we go to boost certain LB effects, boost LB damage, right? So we're now going to extend that. There you go. Now it lasts all the rest of the fight. And Abigail, this is the cool thing about Abigail. So she's now going to use anti-magic mechanism. That's going to put up magic mitigation just in case you need it. We don't really, but you know, it's something to do with her third action. Biothermal generator, which theoretically allows her to absorb fire damage for 1 turn. So if you didn't have enough resistance, she would just absorb it and not take damage, thus perfect score. And then methodical mitigation, which is going to allow her to actually cover the whole party. So here we go. Boss is going to put up the Imperil and then do an attack, and we take 0 damage. Perfect. All right, now we're on turn 3 where we're going to set up, and we're going to start with Bart. Bart is going to again use White Cologne. Go ahead and use his Elemental Burst Light, and then use his skill, We Can Pay Everything Back in 1 shot, which is going to strengthen his LB for 3 turns. There you go. Penelo is going to, the order is very important here. She's going to use Elemental Break, and then you can use whatever you want. I'm just going to use another Ether Waltz on herself, and then use Isolation last because that's her magic store. All right, Celeste is going to use Surpassing Limits plus Bright Future, which is going to give herself a nice imbue and a nice amplify, and also give that to Penelo. And then something to do with her third action, she could do whatever she wanted. We're just going to use Dazzling Neon again. Fundamental Force is going to Limitless Surge, Supreme Spectrum Plus, and Celestial Aegis, just to do something with her third action. Zahn is going to steal the killers from Fundamental Force, and then use his Deadly Daggers, and then spread all those buffs around with Projected Mirror. And that's going to make sure that everybody has Fairy Killer, and Beast Killer, and just all the other stuff that we have on Zahn, which is really good. And then Abigail, with nothing better to do this turn other than just sit there, is going to use her SLB. That way every weapon Imperil is in place, and we've got mitigations just in case we took damage, but we will not. Alright, very, very straightforward and easy. And the last thing we got to do now is pretty much just send all of our chainers. So we're going to be sending SLB Penelo. That's going to go first. Bart is going to go next with Meteor Fall. And that's going to chain with Abigail once she's done auto-casting all her stuff. So she's going to just triple Absolute Mirror of Equity. You could probably do more damage with like the Absolute Mirror of Equity chaining card. The one that has Vilk on it, but this is what we're going to do. You know, Celeste is going to be chaining with her Shift Limit Burst, and then Zahn and Fundamental Force are doing theirs as well. So we're going to send Penelo first for, you know, just every other thing that her SLB does, and then we'll just kind of send everybody else. And we will definitely do more than 12 billion. The most I've done so far, just messing around, was about 21. So we'll send Penelo, Abigail. Oh, I even messed up the chaining. Doesn't even matter. We got 100 hits. I bet you we still did enough damage. I just misclicked. I usually like create buttons for when I'm chaining because this is hard to do with a mouse, but you know, it is what it is. 17, really, really low. Let's see if we can't get a slightly better with real chaining, shall we? Okay, we're back on turn 4, where we're going to try and just do this with real chaining this time, and we're going to send Penelo first, and then Abigail and Duder, and then the 3 extreme maneuver. Blah, 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 blah. Penelo, Abigail, and Bart, and then Zahn, Celeste, Fundamental Force. Oh my gosh, I tripped over all those words. I'm going to leave it in there because that's funny. That is some funny stuff right there. Should do more than 20 billion. 21. There you go. See? Just fine. Take a quick look at the breakdown, and we'll see how everyone did. Perfect score. Unsurprising, right? Fundamental Force, Celeste, Zahn, and Bart. And then you know, Abigail and Penelo hanging in there a little bit. You know, you might be like, well, how is Zahn not doing better than Bart? You know, we didn't use a lot of things that Zahn can do like really to his advantage, but he still had the benefits of like a 100 amp, which is like a big deal, right? He had a 100 amp and a 230 imperil. If you were using his personal amps and imperils and fields and stuff, you'd do a little more, probably a little better damage. But you know, here we are, you know, getting rank 1 with this team. So there you go. I don't think it's that difficult, honestly. But if you're having difficulties, you know, I'm gonna try and work on some other clears tonight on Twitch. So if you're wanting to watch some like trial and error stuff with other elements, we'll be doing that in like less than an hour, at least less than an hour from the time I'm publishing this. So yeah, hopefully that's useful to you, and we will see you in whatever comes next.